Hi guys, Olive here today to talk to you about the books I'm hoping to read in June 2020. Starting off with my book projects, I have sadly fallen a little bit behind, but I'm doing my best to catch up and then make some good forward progress. So off of my 5-star nonfiction predictions list, I'm going to be reading The Emperor of All Maladies by Siddhartha Mukherjee. This is a so-called biography of cancer from when it was first documented thousands of years ago up to our present-day understanding of and treatments for the disease. This is one that has been on my radar for a very long time. I'm very glad I'm finally going to be picking this one up. I'm also going to be continuing on with my books that have been on my TBR the longest project. The book I'll be reading in June for that project is The Crimson Petal and the White by Michelle Faber. Just like The Emperor of All Maladies, it's a long one. When I first announced this project in the video I made all about it, I mentioned that this book made its way onto my early TBR because it was talked about on Gilmore Girls, and I've been meaning to read it ever since, so quite a long time. But just as Emily Gilmore tells us in that episode, this is all about a prostitute named Sugar in the Victorian era and all of the different colorful characters she meets, all the adventures she goes on. It sounds like a lot of fun, so bring it on. And then my classic pick for the month is a very summery selection. It is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, the classic pirate tale. I don't know about you, but for me, there are certain books out there that are so culturally iconic, you know so much about them, but you know you haven't actually read them. That is definitely the case for me with this book. I feel like I know so much about this book, I can't believe I haven't actually read it yet, especially because I love pirates. So very excited to finally check this one off of my list of classics. But speaking of summer, it is finally starting to feel like summer here in Pittsburgh. I don't know what was going on this year, but for most of the spring, it felt just like a second winter. Half of the month of May was freezing cold. We even got snow. But since it actually feels like it's about to be June outside, I am celebrating that fact with some seriously summery selections. Alliteration. First up is Summer World by Bernd Heinrich, which is a natural history book all about animal and plant adaptations during the summer months. I did read his book Winter World a few years back, which is essentially the same book except for the winter months. I did enjoy it. I thought it was very appropriate for the season, and I'm hoping that this book can do the same thing for me, but during the summer. I'm also planning on reading Summer by Edith Wharton. Now, when I was first getting into Edith Wharton's books, when I first discovered how much I love her books, I made a loose, unspoken plan to read only one of her books per year. I did the exact same thing with Jane Austen, and it worked out really well. I really liked reading those over a number of years. I didn't blow through them too quickly, and I don't want to blow through Edith Wharton's books too quickly. But I can't restrain myself. I read The Custom of the Country earlier this year, and I just decided that I can't wait a whole year to pick up another Wharton book. I decided to break my own rule with this book because this one in particular came highly recommended from an Edith Wharton superfan in the comment section of one of my Psychology of Literary Heroines videos. From what I read about this book, it is all about a young woman's sexual awakening, and because it's written by Edith Wharton, I'm sure it's going to be divine. Apparently I'm picking up every book with summer in the title because I'm also planning to read Dreams of My Russian Summers by Andrei Makin. This one is translated from French, and it follows a young Russian boy and his sister who travel to visit their French-born grandmother in Siberia every single summer. Their grandmother lived through many periods of transition in Russian history, so she tells them what she saw throughout her life, and she also teaches them about culture. This book has been languishing away in the closet here in my reading room where all of my run-over books on Russia live. If you saw my reading room tour, that will probably make more sense. But it is finally time to give this book its moment. This next one may not have summer in the title, but its cover is certainly very summery. It is Enchanted Islands by Alison Amend. This book is about two old friends who reconnect shortly before they travel to the Galapagos Islands together in order to investigate Germans living there just before World War II. I hope I end up enjoying this one, but regardless, it's one I'll probably end up sending to my mother after I'm finished because she loves anything dealing with World War II. Pretty much as soon as summer hits, which it definitely feels like it's about to, I start getting a craving to read some good fantasy. So I am planning on starting the 9 Realms series by Sarah Kozlov, which starts with the first book, A Queen in Hiding. This series is all about an exiled queen who becomes a guerrilla fighter by necessity in order to reclaim her birthright. This whole series was released this year. 1 book a month was released beginning in January and finishing in April, so all of the books are now out. There is so so much good binge potential here. And then of course I have a couple of new releases that I'm hoping to read and review this month. The first one is a romance book, helping me continue on with my unofficial tradition of reading one romance book per month this year. It started off as an accident and now I'm just keeping it going. But that book is called Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein. This book is all about a former Olympic hopeful gymnast who returns to her hometown in order to become a gymnastics trainer. I think the summer release date of this one was anticipating that we would all be getting ready to start obsessively watching Olympics gymnastic performances, but even though we sadly have to wait a whole other year to be able to see those, we can at least have this book, and then we can rewatch a million Simone Biles videos. I'm also planning on reading The Language of Butterflies by Wendy Williams. This one is being marketed as a biography of butterflies. It has been blurbed by two of my favorite natural history writers, Jennifer Ackerman and Thor Hansen. Very excited to get to this one. And also the publicist let me know that this author grew up here in Pittsburgh. Very cool. And then last, but certainly not least, I have really been looking forward to June coming along, and not just because I am very sick of second winter, but also because every single June I reread my very favorite book in the world, Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. This will be read number 6 for this book for me. It'll be my 5th reread, and I just couldn't be more excited. This book never gets old. So those are the books that I will be prioritizing in the month of June. Please do let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've heard of any of these books, or if you're now interested in reading any of them after hearing me speak about them. You can put that or any other more general comments or questions you may have down in the comment section below. Or if you'd prefer to find me somewhere other than YouTube, I am on a variety of different places on social media, and the links to all of my profiles will be linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.